The winner has flown. The winner on debut.
2 out of 2 and is pretty strong at the finish.
But the favourite has opened up. He's all class, this champion miler.
He's danced every dance, been an incredibly sound horse.
Palace Pier.
Yes, in the case of Palace Pier, he himself was a very attractive yearling. Powerful horse with a lot of scope. And he was 600,000 guineas, so it indicates in that market he was strong. But he was a very taking individual. And I actually bought him on spec in my name. Unfortunately, I met someone the next day who said they'd take him off me, which caused a lot less worry here. Look, he ran twice at 2 and he won both starts. I just gave him some time. He was a big boy. And then he came out in the spring and straight away showed his class and went into the St James Palace and defeated all the good horses in that race. And he was a pleasure to train. He then won the Jacques Marois at 3. So he fulfilled everything that I expected and hoped of him. He was European champion 3-year-old. And then at 4, he did the clean sweep of the Lockinge, the Queen Anne and the Jacques Marois, and was a champion older horse. And I think when you see him as a yearling, and you do dream of a horse being that good. He was that good looking, and he managed to fulfill it all. Strong, powerful horse, good head on him, lovely hind quarter, great movement. And I've seen that. We bought actually a very nice one at the sales from Overbury, who had a lot of that stamp about him. And it was an attractive colt at the yearling sales. Not all of his stock looked like him. He wasn't exactly stamping them at all. But that's never worried me with a stallion. Everyone believes they have to come out like peas in a pod. There have been a lot of very talented stallions that everyone says, oh, they're not looking, oh, the damn sort of thing. And it turns out that they're class horses. And even great stallions like Frankel were met with a certain indifference early on. And I remember thinking to myself, that's a little extreme of people. And I think people can be very fickle about it. But certainly in the case of Palace Pier, there's no reason he won't come through. He wasn't just he was a good 3-year-old, good 4-year-old. And he's out of a Beach Frolic, who was then sold for a fortune to Coolmore. So the signs are good that way. But obviously we want to see them run. But there's no doubt with the quality he's shown in his racing and the looks and shape and power of the horse that he won't be transferring a great deal of that ability onto his progeny. They weren't putting them back in the sales, and I think in the sales, if you've got a lot of owner breeders using him, you don't get a very fair reflection of a horse what comes through the sale ring. And there's no doubt if some might have been put in there because they're a little bit disappointing as foals. That doesn't mean you condemn the whole crop on that basis. But we do know in this game it can be, we're a little rushed to one fashion, rushed to another. I think let's see them run for 2 or 3 seasons and then we'll know for sure. Yeah. But remember, he was a horse that actually was good at 3, it was even better at 4. So don't think if they're not showing up in the 2-year-old races, that's necessarily an issue. But it'll give the naysayers more ammunition. But I think if you've got the quality of mares he's had and what he did himself, there's no reason to assume that he won't still be a very nice stallion. And our 2-year-olds of 4 will be coming here. They'll be here in January, February. Yeah, they're just broken elsewhere, then they come in. So there'll be plenty coming in. And I've got an eye on a couple of Palace Piers already that I'll be wanting in here in the 3rd week of January. So we'll be moving along with them. It doesn't mean they're going to be pinging over 5 furlongs. He was a horse that he was a fabulous miler, but he was more the stiff 6, 7 furlong horse as a 2-year-old going on to be a champion miler.